Hey everyone, I'm Jordan and this is Box Angle's weekday leadership workshop. Here at the Leadership Workshop, we break down bite-sized lessons to become better people and therefore better leaders in the process. Forgive me for the lack of videos. Got sick this past week and wasn't able to upload anything. However, the last time we talked about building and retaining a team. We spoke on being the team you wanted to lead, being a good human being, and treating your team like rock stars. Today's quote is the quality of leader is reflected in the standards they set for themselves by Ray Kroc. So what I want to talk to you about today is personal standards. Let's get into it in part one. What are your standards? As we try to grow as leaders, it is important for us to put some critical thought into what our standards actually are. If you haven't recently, I recommend taking some time to meditate on what you hold as your personal standards and then writing them down. This may surprise you, especially if you haven't sat down to think about them recently or at all. Just the simple act of writing them down helps bring into focus what they are. Once you have them in front of you, you can start to determine whether or not they are still relevant or apply to the person that you are now or the person that you are trying to become. Do your standards align with your goals? Are they serving you? Sometimes we carry standards, ideas, or goals from earlier in our life, a time in our life from which we may have changed. So things that were important to us then may not be important to us now. We might not even realize it without even taking the time to think about it. Without even taking the time to think about it, we have been setting standards or goals for ourselves that aren't relevant to who we are now or who we want to be moving forward. That takes us to part two, living your standards. Once you set your standards down on paper and affirm they are relevant and helpful to you, then you can start to critically reflect as to whether or not you are living them. And what do I mean by living them? Are the standards you've written down for yourself what you actually do day to day in your life? If someone didn't know you personally and all they could do is watch how you worked or acted throughout a day or so, could they clearly articulate what your standards are? Would they be able to say, I know that these things are important to you? And then from there, would they be able to say that you consistently reflect those standards? Would they see those standards reinforced even in the mundane actions of your daily living? That's what it means to be living your standards. As a leader, this is important because it gives a sense of consistency to those who follow you. It helps develop trust in those who you want to lead. They understand who you are and what you are about because you consistently display it and they know what to expect. So, let's move into part three, sharing your standards. In the end, your standards should be something that you can share. After all, if they aren't standards you feel will help make others better, then is it really a standard that's making you better? In the end, if you are living your own standards and others see you being successful at it, they are more likely to adopt those standards. They will see that it is a genuine reflection of yourself and you are living a congruent life. This helps develop trust, and that leads to the adoption of your standards. This adoption of standards over time by the entire organization becomes culture. And developing culture helps reinforce the standards that you want to set in a natural, organic way. It becomes the way of doing things that everybody expects, which for you as a leader means you have just figured out another force multiplier. Because now you have an entire organization that is trying to reinforce the standards you are trying to share instead of just yourself. So, here are the key takeaways. Do you understand your own values? Are your values serving you and the person you want to become? Are you living your standards in your day-to-day life, or would others know what your standards are just by watching you? Consistent display of congruent values leads to trust from your followers. That trust helps in the adoption of the standards you are setting. Having the organization adopt your standards means you are building a culture which becomes self-reinforcing. So I hope today's lesson helped you become a better person and a better leader in the process. If you could also do me one more favor, there are two places these videos get posted, YouTube and Instagram. If each of you could share or at one other person, like a band director or a drum major, section leader, doesn't matter, but just adding or sharing it to someone who you think might like this video, that would be great. You can find us on the web at boxangle.com or on Instagram, where our handle is @boxangle. Also check out Jenna's series, Medical Mondays. Every Monday, she covers a new medical topic related to performing in athletic arts. Right now, we're in the middle of a nutrition series. Part 4, the final part, will be coming out this Monday. You can go to boxangle.com/medicalmondays to find her series. As always, thanks for stopping by. See you next time.